men's clones for every occasion. So maybe you just want 1 or 2 or maybe 3 clones that are super versatile. You could wear them anywhere, anytime, doesn't matter. I've compiled a small list of fragrances that pretty much do just that. And as always, all the fragrances that I mentioned will be available in the Amazon associate links down in the description below. So I'm going to start with one that I think is probably the most versatile on this whole list. Basically, Dior Homme, any version, mainly kind of related to the Eau de Toilette, the lighter versions. Dior Homme is great just in general, just period. It's light, it's fresh, it has a little touch of warmth to it, and it has a certain cleanliness to it that I think is very effective as well. Now this is the original version. I also have the Eau for Men, which is kind of similar to the original. And then there's the Eau de Toilette, which is a little bit warmer, but in general, Dior Homme is always a great choice. Everyone likes it. I haven't seen anyone who dislikes it. And long-lasting, good projection. It pretty much has everything you could want from a men's fragrance. It's one of those simple and effective types of options. And I think it works well as a work fragrance, as a casual fragrance, even an evening fragrance. So again, super versatile, adaptable, and again, you can't really go wrong with it. One of those super complimented, well-liked fragrances. Plus, being from Dior, it is just automatically high quality and all that. But if you want something a little bit warmer than, you know, the kind of standard Dior Homme, then you could try Valentino Uomo, which I think is also pretty versatile. Now, it is warmer. It's almost an all year round fragrance, except I would say for the middle of summer, because then it's just too hot, because it's a little bit too warm. But for every other time except the middle of summer, this will work very, very nicely. This is a leathery type of fragrance mixed with some lighter notes like myrtle and things like that. A little bit kind of velvety, but not super heavy, which is why it kind of remains more versatile. It's not, you know, super intense, super this or that. Still very balanced and also very sophisticated. This is kind of similar in terms of sophistication with Dior Homme. Very classy type of men's fragrance. You could easily wear this, you know, going out to dinner, on a date, going to work, you know, pretty much any occasion you could think of. And the thing about this is because it is stronger, you don't need to put on that much. If you do put on too much, then it's a little, you know, too intense. It becomes a little bit more of an evening type of fragrance, but just a little spritz, super versatile. Daytime, nighttime, it doesn't matter. And again, good longevity, good projection. it's aces on all accounts. Then, for those who prefer more, you know, sweeter types of fragrances, I would say Layton from Parfum de Mali. This is a more luxurious, more expensive option, but it is really, really nice. It's kind of a warm fragrance, but not too warm. Again, maybe don't wear this in the middle of summer, but besides that, a really good year-round option. It's kind of spicy, it has a little bit of that sweetness in it, but overall, I would say this is pretty versatile, and very strong, actually. You don't need to put on too much of this to get the desired effect. Just like maybe 3 or 4 sprays, maybe even just 3 sprays, and you'll be good to go, because it has really good projection. The sweetness mixed with the spiciness creates a very intense kind of mixture, so you don't need to put on too much. And, you know, very good projection. People will definitely notice that you're wearing this. And it has a very unique smell. Parfum de Mali, they kind of managed to create this very unusual spicy sweet mix that it has. So it's definitely kind of a one-of-a-kind fragrance that will definitely garner some attention. But if you don't want to spend this much money, because this is a pretty expensive option, then I would say if you want something a bit warmer, kind of along the lines of Valentino Uomo, but still pretty versatile, I would say Tom Ford Tobacco Oud. It'll focus there. This is really nice because despite being a tobacco and oud fragrance, which you would think is actually really intense, this is actually very smooth and more on the mild side. Not to say that this is a light fragrance or anything, because it's not. It's more of a moderate type of fragrance. It's actually very natural. The tobacco has a very smooth leafiness and smokiness without going too crazy on that smoke note. Meanwhile, the oud, which sometimes oud is a little too intense, too musky, this also has a very natural musk to it, very smooth. It kind of grounds itself in this kind of warm, coziness that it has. So it's very, very nice, actually. Very sophisticated yet rugged. The warmth makes it a little bit better for colder weather. Again, this is one of those fragrances where you could pretty much wear it all the time except in the middle of summer when it's sweltering. But other than that, super versatile. More on the natural side, and again, a kind of a more rugged type of fragrance. If you're tired of fresh fragrances, you want to try something a little bit heavier, this is a really good option. And of course, with those heavier notes, it has phenomenal longevity and really good projection without being too crazy like a clubbing fragrance or anything. It's, again, very kind of smooth and more moderate. Then the last one that I have, Xerjoff 40 Notes. This is a really good option if you're looking for a more aquatic type of fragrance, more fresh and breezy. This has notes of sea salt, ocean, water, you know, citrus, just super fresh. And it definitely, it has that burst of just freshness to it, super clean as well. Now, it doesn't have great longevity because it is a lighter fragrance, but it is still pretty good, around 5-ish hours. But this is really, really nice for all year round, including the middle of summer, because it is fresh enough to handle that heat. Overall, this is really nice for those who want something that's super fresh, because there are a few fragrances that are fresher than this, while still maintaining a natural smell, because sometimes fresh fragrances can get a little bit synthetic smelling, but this smells pretty natural, you know, like you're out on a boat somewhere on the ocean with that ocean breeze. So again, very nice and fresh and versatile. But that is pretty much my list for, you know, men's fragrances for every occasion. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, of course, leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.